everybody. What is up? Ashleigh Mayfield here. I am so fired up. Welcome to the Boom Zoom. If you are brand new, we want to say welcome. If you are ready to take your life, your business, your mindset to the next level, that's what tonight is about. It is zero fluff. Go ahead and drop that in the chat, drop that in the replay. It is zero fluff. I am here to serve you, to take you to the next level, because we all could use a little kick in the rump, okay? A little kick in the booty pants, all right? And so I believe in truth and love, but I believe in truth. And I think a lot of times when I show up to you, I want you to remember that I'm going to talk to you the same way I talk to myself, because I wish I had a leader early on in my business that grabbed my hand and said, girlfriend, no. I wish I had a leader that just shot straight to me. Does that make sense? And so that is my intention tonight. I am not here to call you out. I am here to call you higher. And so that's what we are going to do. And that's what the Boom Zoom is all about. So we're going to go ahead and dive in. We have a quick training. It's going to be about 30, 35, maybe 40 minutes. And then at the end, I'm going to open it up for Q&A. Maybe you've got some questions. Maybe you want to know more about my journey, my mindset. If you are unfamiliar with who I am, I've been a part of this incredible company for 4 months. I left my company for 9 years, where I was number 15 income earner worldwide, number 10 in the United States. I was a top 10 builder. When I left the company, I was not someone that was kicking my feet up saying, oh, I'm no longer working, let me change. No, I was at the height of my business, at the height, and I was totally fine until I heard about Bravely Global, okay? And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to go. And I am so grateful to be here. My heart is to serve. And I can tell you, I used to not be that way. I used to want to keep my cards close to my chest. But how many of you guys know when you grow your mindset, when you elevate, like there's success for everybody? Drop a 1 below if you believe that. Now, when I first joined this industry almost 10 years ago, I did not believe that. I would not be dropping a 1 in the chat, because I thought if you were successful, you took from me. Does that make sense? And what I realized is that I had a scarcity mindset. And so I've spent, January was my 10th January that I've spent pouring into myself, developing myself, reading books, listening to podcasts, watching videos, investing in my mental health, okay? Seeing a counselor, having a life coach. I had a life coach for 4 years, investing in events like our company events, but also like getting in rooms with people like Tony Robbins. Okay. And so I have built myself brick by brick, and I'm so grateful. Obviously, credit goes to the Lord. Yes, along the way, I ended up having some incredible mentors who I learned so much from, but I believe I can be a student of anyone, right? And so my heart is just to call you higher tonight. My heart is to deposit some wisdom, because when you are around the right people, you can fast track your journey. How many of you want to fast track your journey? Drop a 2 in the chat. How many of you want to accelerate? Okay. It's not about cutting corners. It's not about not doing the work. You have to do the work to reach the success you want. You have to become the person your result requires. I spoke about it on conference, right? And so I've been here 4 full calendar months. So grateful, vice president in the company. And I'm starting over at the bottom, working my way up. There was no handout. I wasn't offered money to come here. I'm so grateful that I'm a part of a company that doesn't do crap like that, right? Because there's a lot of companies out there that will and that do. But I can tell you I am here because this company is founded on courage, integrity, and impact. And I stand for those things. I value leadership. I value not just being in a business, but like being the best version of myself. So I hope if you're here tonight, you have a desire for growth. You have a desire to elevate your life and take your life to the next level. And that's what we're going to do. So like I said, it's going to be about 30 minutes of just teaching and training. And then we'll open it up for some Q&A at the end. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little bit. Okay. I'm good at what I'm good at. And if I'm not good at it, I'm just going to tell you, hey, great question. Go find somebody else. Oh, thanks, Amanda. I appreciate that. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in. The first thing I want you to do before I even dive in, I need you to shake off February. Shake it off in the chat. Okay. And I'm not joking. I need you to freaking shake off February, whether you won or whether you felt like you took an L. In fact, if you won, drop a W. If you felt like you ate a big fat L, drop an L. Either way, I want you to shake it off, because the truth is, people who feel when they lose the month before, they show up to the next month and they have this like loser mentality. They have this, well, woe is me. I can't. I'm going to bench myself. And then they take like 15 days to turn on. And I am so tired of seeing people turn on the 25th of the month, 26th of the month, the 27th of the month. That is ridiculous. We are already 48 hours down, about to be 72 hours down. You need to turn on now. You have no time. Time is not on your side, okay? And so if you felt like you took an L in February, it's time to break up with that. Let's get back in the game. We're not benching ourselves anymore, okay? You can take 15 minutes, you can write on a piece of paper all the things you felt like you did wrong, and then next to them, write what you're going to do right this month. Okay, write the correct action you need to take, write the correct thinking you need to have, write the correct action steps that you need to make sure you implement. Okay, and let me talk to the dichotomy, the other side of the spectrum. If you felt like you won in February, congratulations, my heart goes out to you. Okay, I'm so proud of you, but I want you to break up with it because you're only as good as your next win. Okay. And one of the most dangerous things that you can do is no longer be hungry. You see, the wolf at the top of the hill is not as hungry as the wolf that's climbing. You got to have a hunger about you. And if you're too busy resting on your laurels, have you ever met a leader like that? They talk about, oh, I had this great month. And then it's like they kind of get lazy. They kind of rest on it. No, 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 no. We're not trying to do that. Okay. You're only as good as your next win. And so we're going to focus our eyes, our feet, our attention on March. We're going to focus on what it is that we have because I'm here to win. I'm here to make that nasty money I talked about on stage. Who's here to talk about and make nasty money? Go ahead and drop nasty money in the chat. Okay. If you cannot tell yet, I like a lot of fire in the chat. I like a lot of interaction. So we having a dialogue, baby. Okay. It's a dialogue, Heffel. Okay. Okay. But you have to make a decision to lock in, baby. It don't happen to you. Success does not come to you. You go to it. And I'm going to tell you right now, and I am saying this on behalf of every single one of your enrollers, every single one of your leaders. If it is not important today, March 3rd, it is not an emergency on March 31st. Can I get an amen in the house? Okay. If it is not important to you today, when there is time, when we can strategize, when we do have time on our side, it should not be an emergency on your leader on March 31st. Because what you cannot do is relax all month and try to compensate with 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 volume on the last day of the month. Can it happen? Absolutely. But if you do not have seeds planted, how will it happen? Right? And so it's so important that you realize you play an active role in your success. It's got to start today and it's got to start every single day. So if you were with me on last month's Boom Zoom, just drop the word boom in the chat. And we talked about raising the foundation in your life. There's a lot of people that will talk about shattering ceilings. I don't give two hot farts about that. Okay. You can take that to the birds, baby. I like raising the foundation. I want you to be able to not negotiate with how you operate. I want you to have a solid line of what you will and will not tolerate in your life. There is a way that I operate and there is a way that I don't. That you want to know what's so funny is today. So today, something I told you, I opened up and said like two exciting things happened today. Okay. The second one was Margarita Vargas came over here. She now works for Bradenley Corporate. If you do not know who this woman is, she is an absolute, she is small. She is little. She is small and mighty and powerful and a woman full of integrity and impact. You need to go blow up the Latina and Latino market in your area. Okay. This woman is a beautiful piece of the puzzle to Bradenley Corporate. I'm so fired up about it. Well, the first exciting thing that happened to me this morning happened at 6:51 a.m. Now, I'm not awake at 6:51 a.m. because I don't think the Lord is up at 6:51 a.m., okay? But it was something really exciting, and it's something that I'm not going to share with you because the person asked me not to share it. And you want to know what I did today? I almost shared it with someone. I thought, well, if I get them on the phone, they're not going to record it and it's not in writing and it's not a voice memo. It can't be screenshot. Oh, I want to tell someone. And I almost did, but I literally was driving and I stopped and I said, is that the type of person you are though, Ashleigh? Dead honest. This is a real life scenario that happened. Y'all ever had something that you want to tell, like a secret that you want to tell? And the reason this person came to me and told me not to say anything is because they knew they could trust me. And I had a moment in the car. Am I going to be the woman I say I am? Am I going to be a woman of integrity, or am I going to operate in my emotions? So last month on the Boom Zoom, we talked about that. Do you have a non-negotiable of who you are? Do you have a non-negotiable of how you operate? There are certain things that come in our house and there are certain things that don't come in our house. There's a way we parent and a way we do not parent. There's a way I operate and a way I do not operate. Okay. And so it's called having a standard. It's called raising the foundation. I don't struggle with lower level things because my identity is no longer on a lower level. I am on a higher level. Okay. We also talked about to raise the level of the foundation in your life, you've got to think as the finish line version of yourself. And so that still stands true to this day. Okay. When you like, what goal do you want March 31st? I want you to drop that in the chat right now. What's the goal? Either income or rank. Feel free to drop either of those. And you've got to operate now as that. So Amber wants to go director. I love that. So Amber, how would a director think? What would a director do? How would they manage their time? How would they manage their energy? How would they manage their focus, right? When you show up as that person, you can make sound decisions. Because guess what? I'm a vice president. I want to go senior vice president this month. It's a really big feat. It's a really big mountain to climb, right? But I can say, okay, every day I show up, Ashleigh, I want you to think like a senior vice president because the disposition comes before the position. You have to think it and believe it before it becomes a reality, right? And so how would she show up? Would she sit down and watch TV or would she get her work done? You know, she'd probably watch TV after she got her work done, right? Would she skip out on the daily tasks? Would she try to cut corners? No. Ashleigh Mayfield, you're not a person that cuts corners. You're a woman who does the things she says she's going to do, right? You show up as the end in mind. And so you truly can make progress in your life. And so tonight I want to talk to you about another part of raising the level of foundation in your life, and that is developing mental toughness. Go ahead and drop the words mental toughness in the chat, okay? This is super, super important. I want you to know whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are right. You are right. Whatever you believe that you can accomplish in this business, your brain will look to validate it. Your brain will look for examples to prove that you are correct. So if you believe that you can, your brain is going to look for all the decisions you make that are leading you closer to that finish line. And that's really exciting because you're like, holy crap, I can go director. I can become the woman my results require. I can do the things I say I'm going to do. But if you think that you can't, if you think, gosh, there's no way that I can go director, then guess what? Your brain is going to validate that. Your brain is going to start bringing you the people that say no. You're going to start looking at every no as, oh, I knew it. I couldn't do it. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are correct. And I want you to know that I did not start in this industry almost 10 years ago with mental stamina. I didn't. I was the type of person that when I did one thing wrong, I mentally checked out. How many of you might be there right now? It is okay to say that. It is okay to admit, yeah, when you get one thing wrong, you're kind of done. Thank you, Mariah, for being honest. I truly believe it takes one person to kind of be the gateway. So thank you for being honest about that. You get your feelings hurt. Someone tells you no, you wrap it up. I'm done for the day. We'll start again fresh tomorrow. We'll start over on Monday, maybe next month. Okay. I didn't realize 10 years ago when I joined that my emotions were trying to keep me safe. Your brain is designed to keep you safe. Your brain is designed to keep you small. Okay, I didn't realize that though. I didn't realize that my brain and my emotions didn't want me to grow. They wanted to keep me comfortable, not getting uncomfortable. Okay. And so I had to be around, I had to make changes in my life. I had to be around leaders who were mentally tough. I had to listen to things from people who spoke to that part of me. You see, both of my parents were Marines. Okay, when you wonder why I'm crazy, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party, and both my parents were Marines. Yes, I've needed to seek counseling in my life. Okay, but guess what? I have that fight in me. How many of you have that fight in you? I've got that dog in me. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you that dog can do more for you than you realize. Okay, but I didn't know how to tap into her. That's the thing I didn't know how to do. I knew she was in there. I knew the high achiever. I knew I could be successful. I knew I was different. I knew it, but I didn't know how to get her out. But you guys, the best news is that there's nothing greater in me that's not on the inside of you. And I don't know if anyone has ever told you that in your life. But you can grow through personal development. You can grow by protecting your environment, by watching who you're around. You can grow by listening to things and watching things that help you grow. But you have to start at start. And so becoming a person of mental toughness will be the greatest thing that you ever do. Okay? Because I learned who let the dogs out? Okay, that's funny. But it's true, right? I learned how to weather storms. I learned how to bounce back. I learned how to stand firm when there's opposition. Do you realize that there's going to be opposition in your life? Do you realize you're going to have opposition? Do you realize the word of God? It promises that. They hated him first. Okay? They nailed an innocent man to a cross. You think people aren't coming after you? You get what I'm saying? You're promised opposition. Okay? But how do you handle it? Your mind is almost like an immune system. When you have a weak immune system, you are susceptible to sickness, to illness, to disease. If you have a weak mindset, you are more likely to engage in self-sabotage. How many of you are your biggest, you are your own worst enemy? How many of you take yourself out? You got that stinking thinking. You beat yourself up. You self-deprecate. You need to work on that. Okay. So I quickly realized, and y'all, this is just like my intro. I need to like get moving. I quickly realized in this industry that your thoughts, your words, and your actions all have to be in alignment. That is a secret sauce. I hope you write that down. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions all have to be in alignment. So you can think positive all day long. You can speak positive. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But if you don't take any action, you're not making money. You're not changing your life. And you can think positive and you can take action every single day. But if every time you talk, well, I just suck. Well, I just don't have what it takes. Well, I'm a loser. Oh, it's just me. I don't know how to recruit. I suck. I'm not good enough. Oh, of course my customer's canceling. Duh, because I suck. You're talking yourself out of success. Okay? And if you speak about it, I'm so amazing. I have what it takes. Yay! And you take action every single day, but in your head, you're like, I'm the worst person ever. I don't have what it takes. She's better than me. She outperforms me. She's prettier than me. She speaks better than me. She posts better than me. You think yourself out of success. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions all have to be in alignment. That is the secret sauce. Okay. So we're going to talk about your thoughts tonight. We're going to talk about that stinking thinking and why really is mental toughness important and how do you develop it? And I can tell you that too many people do not have mental stamina. And so I want to help give you some wisdom tonight around that. If you're ready, say I'm ready. So why is mental toughness even important to begin with? Okay. Well, let's back up. How many of you just want to be able to push through the emotion that's causing you to stop? Like I said, your brain is wired for survival. Your brain is designed to protect you and to avoid things like rejection, things like embarrassment, things like uncertainty, right? And so we take ourselves out. And so if you struggle to take action, well, yeah, if you're constantly uncertain, it makes sense you're going to struggle to take action. If you don't want to get rejected, it makes sense that you're going to struggle to post if you don't want to get made fun of. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to look stupid. So you're avoiding the action because your emotion overrides it, right? This is the power of having mental toughness. Your brain and your heart can literally stop you from growth. It views growth as a threat. All right. And this is why we need to be all about consistency. This is why when people are saying, oh, just be consistent, and you're like, well, what's be consistent mean? Is it just like in my tasks? Is it no, on your journey of growth? Okay. Because when you're consistent, you realize the growth, okay, it becomes normal to you. So for instance, those of you that want to go director this month, drop a me in the chat real quick. I want to know who you are, who wants to go director, 2,500 volume. Awesome. I love it. Okay. You 100% can do it. It starts today. It's 650 or 625 volume by every Saturday. So by this Saturday, you need 625 volume. That'll keep you on track. By the next Saturday, you need a new 625, then a new 625. That could be you. That could be you and a team, however you want to splice it, baby. This is just your world. I'm just a squirrel. Okay. So for those of you that want to go director, you might have to do something different. You might have to show up different than what it took for you to go senior brand partner. It's going to require something new of you. Well, if you are unfamiliar with the new, if the new who you want to be, I saw Rosalba wants to go director, so I'm going to pick on her for a second because she's my girl. So if Rosalba wants to go director, well, the thing stopping her, if she has to become the person her result requires, like I spoke on stage, if she has to think like a director and act like a director and move like a director, but that's unfamiliar to her, her emotions are going to block her every time, right? And mental toughness allows you to override your emotions. And it allows the newness of showing up like a director to become a new normal. So you have to create a new normal every time you rank up. You want to create a new normal with every income spike that you want. Mental toughness allows you to push through. Okay. So mental toughness, what it does is it builds the evidence, and evidence builds the belief. I am telling you right now, the only time belief and confidence comes before work is in the dictionary, period. Tattoo that to your forehead. Action produces belief. Action produces confidence. Okay. And so when you take action, you're building evidence of a new normal, and that evidence gives you the confidence that you need. But a lot of people struggle with that. Why? Why will they stop themselves? Why will they not write a new story? Why will you not cross your finish line? Start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. You're all in on March 3rd when we get off the boom Zoom, and then you get triggered and you're out on March 5th. And then you see your prelims and you're like, oh, back in the game March 6th. And then someone says no and you get emotional on March 9th. Start, stop, start, stop. It's literally killing you. Okay. You're constantly starting at zero. Every time you hokey pokey, every time you 1 foot in, 1 foot out, every time you say one thing and do another, you literally almost reset your growth dial to go back at zero. So it's better to push through the suck. Like, I know that's a little brash, but this is a boom Zoom. Okay. It's better to push through the suck. Okay. Because the more action you take, it's going to build that evidence, and that evidence is going to help you build your confidence and your belief. And this is why when it comes to your mental toughness, like, the tortoise is going to beat the hare every single time. Slow and steady really wins the race. I would love to come on here tonight and tell you that every single one of you can go from 0 to 1,000. That's not normal. Okay. That's ego. That's not even my journey. That's not even my story, right? The average person doesn't go no enrollments in December, no enrollments in January, no enrollments in February. And then you show up March and you're like, I'm going vice president. Like, what? You gotta, like, what? I would love that. How about we start at one enrollment? Like, how about we start at one customer and let's see what we do next? Okay. But some people show up like that. Some people want to go from 0 to hero. And I do believe that that's your ego. It's a form of self sabotage. Let me speak so much over myself that I've never done it. And then I freak myself out and then I go back to 0. Okay. And so mental toughness also, it helps train your identity. Most people need an identity shift. And this is where last month, when on the Boom Zoom, when I talked about thinking with the end in mind, Stephen Covey talks about it, thinking with the end in mind, think about the finish line version of yourself. That's your identity. Your identity makes you decide, are you going to be a person that follows through? Are you going to be a person that completes their tasks? Are you going to be a person that reaches out to X amount of people a day? Or do you just talk, right? Your identity, do you believe that you're the type of person that can do hard things? Do you believe that you're the type of person that can win? Because when you push through opposition, it is a push to fight to become who you want to be. You can become victorious. Amen? Like, you can become victorious. My husband said it Sunday. Me and my husband, we pastor at church. My husband said it Sunday. He was talking about healing, and he was like, you guys realize, like, Jesus is not going to the cross. He already did it. Everything you need in the finished work of Jesus Christ, okay? You can be victorious. And the church does a real bad job of talking about money and making you feel like you should live poor. No, Jesus didn't die on a cross for you to live broke, busted, and disgusted and be ruining, have the devil up in your head. That's not what Jesus died for. Okay. You can be victorious. You can win in life through the finished work. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So mental toughness helps you create momentum, and that momentum creates that motivation. All right. So some of you don't need any more inspirational content. You need the mental toughness that it's going to take to produce immediate behavior. That was a really weak snap. Okay. Immediate behavior. So I really just want to share with you three things that are going to help you to develop that mental toughness on the inside of you. Um, and I think it's what you need. I think it's what you need to win this month. I think it's what you need to win in your life. And when you're winning in your life, you're going to win in your business. Okay. And so the first thing I want you to write down is mental toughness helps you take action before emotion takes you out. Mental toughness helps you take action before emotion takes you out. I can tell you that I love the phrase high achieving leaders. In fact, I have a podcast I am relaunching. This is going to be my podcast studio. I know some of you little stinkers have found my podcast. That's totally fine. It hasn't been, haven't had a new episode in years, friends. It's called The High Achieving Woman, because I love the phrase high achieving. I believe that I am a high achieving woman. And what I can tell you when it comes to mental toughness is that leaders in high achieving women, and I do speak to women. I know we have a lot of men that are in the company. I love that. Please don't think that I'm feminist. I am not in any way, shape, or form. This man, okay, he tickled my pickle. Okay. I love saying that. It always makes someone uncomfortable. But for real though, so I'm not like a man hater in any way, shape, or form. I just know my ministry is to women. So when I say women, thanks for laughing, Connie. So when I say women, please don't take offense to that. Okay. It's just a habit, probably not going to break out of it. But for high achieving women who are mentally tough, they do not wait until they feel ready. They don't wait until they're bold. They don't wait until they're confident. Oh, Glenn, I'm so sorry. They don't wait until they have clarity. That's not what high achievers do. High achievers understand they don't have to be know-it-alls. Okay. And when you realize that your journey of growth, when you realize that you're always going to be growing until the day you die, you're okay showing up a little messy or a little imperfect, right? Now, this does not give you permission to run around. Sorry, friend. This does not give you permission to run around like a chicken with your head cut off. Okay. I'm not saying because you need to not, like, don't wait until you have it all together emotionally, mentally. That doesn't mean just go AWOL. Okay. Does that make sense? So I think sometimes there are people that, like, we shoot our potentials with a fire hose. We scream in voice memos calling it passion. That repels people. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about being reckless, because I don't think high achievers are reckless either. I don't think they wait until they have it all together, but I think they move with posture. Okay? Drop that word posture in the chat. Move with posture, move with confidence, not reckless. Okay. And so what we're not aiming to do is wait until our emotions catch up. You're not always going to be ready. You're not always going to feel confident. You're not always going to be the best. Okay. We had a staff training at church last Tuesday, and my husband said this, and I thought it was really profound. I wrote it, and I think I said it in one of my Facebook lives, that as a church staff, we're aiming for base hits and not home runs. And I want you to think about that in your business, because your emotions will lie to you. Your emotions will make you feel that you constantly have to be the best. You constantly have to have your name in shining lights, that you constantly have to rank up every single month. And if you don't, you're a loser. Y'all realize there's only like 12 ranks in the company or something, right? Like, at best, if you're cool enough, uh, you can rank up once a month for 12 months, but what's your next play? Like, what's your next step? Okay. And so your goal isn't to constantly hit home runs, but if you don't have mental toughness, if you have emotional immaturities, your brain will make you think that you constantly have to be the best, constantly have to be a top performer, constantly have to have your name. And none of that's true. Baby, we're here for base hits. We're here to like actually get on the plate. You know what I mean? And again, sometimes our emotions will put pressure on ourselves, and that pressure will take us out of the game. You start thinking every post has to pop off. No. You start thinking every video has to go viral. No. You start thinking every story slide has to produce a potential. No. And if you're bound to this kind of thinking or this kind of feeling, it's going to leave you paralyzed. Okay. And mentally tough leaders understand that you have to start before you're ready. And so a few years ago, just to open up a little bit more about my story, a few years ago, I found a cheat code for how to keep myself in the game, how to keep myself committed every day. Do you want to know that? Now, I am, for those of you that know the personality, I have a whole training on the personality, color personality. I love it. I love understanding people. I love teaching it. I'm like 60% red, but I'm like 30% blue. And that 30% blue can be very immature sometimes. Like I value instant gratification. I'm full of charisma. I can be a little obnoxious sometimes. Okay, my charisma can get the best of me. Okay, but one thing I've learned about myself is how I stay motivated is I have to treat it like a game. I was raised on Mario. Okay, Mario was my babysitter when my parents had to go to work. Okay. And so I just had to save the princess. I had to go to the next level. I had to beat Bowser. So if I can think of something like a game, now this is just me, you might be motivated differently. Okay. But I understood how to get myself to play the game with anything. And essentially, this is real raw data of Ashleigh Mayfield. Okay. I basically had to bully myself into commitment for the first 10 days of anything I wanted to do. And then after day 10, by the time I hit double digits, I was so far in, I didn't want to break my streak. You get what I'm saying? I didn't want to break my streak because I was like, oh, I'm so far from the finish or the starting line. I was so proud of myself. How many of you guys know sometimes we have to treat ourselves like toddlers? Like, when's the last time you made a sticker board and you gave yourself a star for winning the day every day? When's the last time you had a visual that you tracked? Okay. So in 2023, I came into that year. I actually made the decision on December 31st, 2022, that I wanted to do four things every single day for Ashleigh Mayfield. Now, obviously, when I benefit Ashleigh Mayfield, the overflow, my business gets the overflow of that, right? So when you're healthy on a human level and you prioritize yourself on a human level, your life gets the overflow of that. Your business, your marriage, your extracurriculars, your career, your parenting, your friendships, your finances get the better end of that, okay? All that stuff. So I made a decision on December 31st, 2022, that I was going to go into 2023 doing four things every single day. I was going to drink X amount of water every single day. I was going to do a Bible reading plan. I had never read my Bible all the way through. I was going to do a Bible reading plan. I was going to do one reel a day, post one reel on Instagram and TikTok every single day. And I was going to do 18 minutes of exercise every single day. And there's a reason why I said 18 minutes. We're not going to break it down. So I was going to do those four things every single day. And guess what? I bullied myself into doing it for 10 days. I downloaded an app called Done. I'm not paid. It's not sponsored. Okay. But it's called Done. And I had the free version. I don't know. You might, or I might have paid for it. I don't know. Okay. It might have been like 29 bucks for the year or something like that. But what's cool is you could add your habits. It's like a habit tracker. You could add your habits. And this is how blue I am. This is how like it has to be fun. I've got to make it a game. It's got to be fun. When you check it off for the day, it keeps a tally of all the days you do. And when you check it off for the day, each one's a different color. You can color code it. So that was fun. But it would make a horn noise. So it would be like, and then it would be like it would do all these different horn noises. And it was super cool and it was fun and it kept me inspired. Okay. And guess what? I completed 2023 doing each of those four things, never skipping, never shortcutting. While I was sick, while I was traveling, while I was out of the country, I did every single one of those every single day because I made it a game. And then I got so far in that I didn't want to break my streak and I stayed encouraged. And the goal was not to grow. The goal was not to hear from the Lord. The goal was not to have better skin by drinking water. The goal is not to explode my business by, doing one video a day. The goal was not to have like the buffest body by doing 18 minutes of exercise every single day. The goal was just to finish. You see, sometimes our emotions will put so much pressure on us to perform. that we negate the power of consistency and discipline. And did I get better skin because I was consistent in water? Yes. Did the Lord speak to me through reading the word? Yes. Did I have incredible people join my business because of my content? Yes. Did I feel better and have better digestion because I was moving my body every single day? Yes. But guess what? I just had to bully myself into doing it. And I'm using the word bully, however, gaslight yourself, whatever you want to say. I had to talk myself into doing it. The same thing happened a couple years prior to that. I wanted to do 75 hard and I didn't tell anybody because I was like, what if I go online and say I'm doing this and I announce it and then I quit and then I look like a loser? So I just did it for 10 days. I checked off my little app and then I like announced it and I was so proud of myself and I stayed committed to it. And so sometimes you have to like develop that mental toughness. And if you don't know 75 Hard, it actually is a mental toughness program. And that helped me. But I can tell you that mentally tough people win the day. They really focus on the day. When you lay your head down tonight, will you have won the day? Drop a yes or no below. Thank you, Jody, for being honest. Thank you for being honest. Okay. Mentally tough people focus on winning the day. And it's a balance between looking through the telescope and looking through the microscope, right? It's a balance of seeing the bird's eye view and being in the detail. Because sometimes you can live too pie in the sky, and sometimes you can live too in the detail, you only see the tip of your nose. You constantly have to be adjusting your lens, right? Whether you're looking far out or looking down at the detail to keep yourself in the game. You got to have long vision, but you got to have small action, right? And so that's what mentally tough people do. And so I want you to know with like my entire heart, you guys, this business is not hard. You choose how you want to run this business. You want to do it in person, you want to do it online, you want to do videos, you want to get in the DMs, like you choose, okay? But it is a choice. And you choose whether you're going to win or you choose whether you're going to lose. You choose whether you show up and win the day. And listen, you only have to win 4 out of 7 days to win the week. You're going to have a bad day, okay? It's bound to happen. You'll have a bad moment, but you got to stop taking yourself out. Okay, you got to stop letting your emotion override the commitment that you made, or you will never get your business up off the ground. Okay, second thing mentally tough people do is they build their rejection endurance. Okay, it's crazy to me how we quit over hurt feelings. And I never knew how bad the word no was. Drop the word no in the chat. Never knew how bad the word no was until we came to this industry. Like, my God, Jesus, touch it. Jesus, touch it. Y'all get your feelings hurt over no. Y'all's egos are so big. Okay, so big. Because it's only your ego that says everybody has to support you. It's only your ego that says that your product is for everyone. It's not. I would love it to be. I would love for this business to be for everyone. I would love for these products to be for everyone. But guess what? If you don't have a dog, you're not out here buying pedigree dog food. Do you think pedigree dog food is going to try to convince you why you should buy their dog food when you don't have a dog? No, they're going to go market to people that have a dog. Okay. And so I can just tell you that we take things so emotionally. And you need to work on your emotional intelligence in raising that level. We have to break up with the idea that, someone's order is a part of our identity. And there's nothing wrong with you like desiring the next rank, the next level, the next income bracket. You should. Those are all really good things. However, you need to grow mentally tough to be able to achieve those things. Okay. I will never forget the first it was in my first few weeks in my enroller, Kara. She's so incredible. She had a team call with Adrian, who's her leader. And Adrian said, first of all, Adrian's hilarious. Okay. She's really funny. All these Southern sayings like tickle me like to the core. I was crying last night over things she was saying in a chat. I was dying. But she said on this Zoom, and it unlocked something in me. She said, stop marketing to broke people. And she might not have said it verbatim like that, but stop marketing to broke people. And all I thought was giggity, giggity. That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed. I needed permission to like go for people that were looking to change their life, people that are willing to invest in their health, in their journey, in their wellness, okay? Because sometimes we're begging someone to buy Reset, which Reset, you're not building your business on selling 20 resets, baby. I don't know who needs to hear that word from the Lord tonight. Okay. We're begging them. Oh, but we've got the cheapest thing because we value a customer. And I'm not saying don't sign the customer. I need you to Don't miss the message in the mess of me communicating it, okay? But we're begging them to buy a reset, and then we're crying when they're complaining they're not where they want to be. And it's like, Heffa, what did you expect? You had to like pin them in a corner to buy this $27 product. I don't know how much it is. And you like made them think they're going to lose 30 pounds overnight. And Taylor Herzer is having a panic attack because she's dealing with all these questions. Well, why isn't my person losing weight? I don't know. Okay, that's not, listen, you want to go find the people. Some people just cannot buy from you, and you need to endure and build your rejection endurance. Your product is just not for some people. Okay, there are some people that cannot buy from you. There are some people that cannot climb this company with you. Okay, you want to do something shady, you want to be lying and scheming. I know who you can join, but you ain't joining Ashleigh Mayfield. Okay, because I don't stand for that crap. All right. And so there's just some people that cannot go with you, my friends. All right. And I need you to know that like rejection, it should be emotionally neutral. And so you should have a little bit of stamina built up to where like you should endure the no's. Okay. You should be able to endure the no's. In fact, drop how many months in the chat it took for you to say yes, whether it your first company. How long did it take? It took me 18 months. Okay, 12 months, Haley said. Jennifer, 7 months, 10 months, 2 years, Glenn said. Okay, listen, 12 months, Lisa said. 14, Amanda said. Wow. Okay, do you know that 2% or less people say yes immediately? And so I need you to remember the rejection is part of the process. In fact, I have a whole training that I think it's 5 levels. Man, I'm like, I really need to get to my third point because we're already 17 minutes. I'm still going to leave time for Q&A, but when you got to hop off at 8, you hop off at 8, okay? If that's what you got to do. But I have a whole training on the process that potentials go through. You're going to have the absolutely no, I hate you, you're an idiot. You're going to have the people that just say, no, it's not for me. You're going to have the people that start, like, they get curious and they look and see what you're doing. And then you're going to have the people that have objections. And then you're going to have the people that say yes. And there's some people that start at curious and work their way through objection and then yes. And there's some people that start at absolutely no, I hate your guts, I'll never do it. And they work their way to no, and then they work their way to curiosity and then objection yes. So you need to realize that your job alone is to be rejected. You're not good enough to get everybody to say yes to you. Okay. And if you believe that you should be, that's a sign of low emotional intelligence. That's a sign of immaturity. Okay. And so your job, if you need freedom from this, your job is not to get everybody to say yes. That is not your job. Okay. Your job is to plant the seed. Your job is to water it. It's the Lord that's going to bless you, baby. I'm not good enough to make people say yes to me. Now, can I develop my skill set, which lands me in a higher probability? Absolutely. Absolutely. But my job is to plant and water, in water, in water, in water, in water. Okay. And no's might hurt, no's might sting, no's might suck, but some of you just need to figure out your ratio. If you can know, no, if you can know that every 10 people you talk to, you sign one person, then go talk to 20 people to sign 2, or go talk to 30 people to sign 3. If you know that every 20 people you talk to, you sign one person, then go talk to 60 people to sign 3. And I'm sorry that you have to talk to 60 people to sign 3, and there's someone else that can talk to 30 people to sign 3. It could be their skill set. You might have to up your skill set. Okay, talked about that at conference. If you want to become the person your result requires, you need to develop your skill set. All right. But listen, if you're blowing through 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 people and someone's not saying yes to you, or you're not getting to the price, or you're not putting them on your calendar, maybe they don't have money to join today, but they have money to join next Friday. I'm telling you, you need to develop your skill set. And I love you enough to say that to you, my friend. But no, you should not be blowing through 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 people and not get someone on your calendar. Dead honest. That is a skill set issue. Okay. And I love you enough to say that to you. Okay. Because sometimes it is me. How many of you guys know that? Sometimes it's us. Sometimes it's we are rushing. Sometimes it's we don't have the right mindset. Sometimes it's we have an underdeveloped skill set. Okay. You have to play an active role in your growth. And I'm here to tell you that mentally tough people do not operate on autopilot. Some of y'all got to wake up. You are just on autopilot. You're like, well, I'm checking off everybody. I'm doing all the things. Anytime anyone says I'm doing all the things, it is like an immediate, nope, something's wrong. That's a red flag. Drop a red flag emoji. Okay, I'm telling you that's a red flag. Because what does all the things mean? Well, I'm posting and I'm on video and I'm just doing this. Okay, are you doing XYZ? Well, no. Okay, how many posts are you doing? I did one this week. Okay, we're going to break down what all the things mean. And I can tell you almost every single time it's been a let's look in the mirror, boo boo. Okay. And so if you want to develop mental toughness, you really do need to have that endurance for rejection. It's going to happen. Stop avoiding it. Let's just move on. All right. Last thing I want to say before I wrap this up, and we'll open up for some Q&A, is mental toughness. People who are mentally tough, they shorten the gap. They shorten the gap. And there's two ways that they're going to shorten the gap. Okay, they shorten the gap between their intention and their execution, which I'll break down first. But they also shorten the gap between their emotional recovery time, their bounce back. Okay, so let's talk about shortening the gap between intention and execution. Okay, because every single one of you intend to work hard this month, right? You didn't show up saying, well, I'm just going to make March suck. I'm just not going to show up and I'm just going to let it burn. No, you wouldn't be on this Zoom right now if you didn't intend for it to be good, but it's more than intention because some of you will not cross your finish line you set out to, right? And so when you are mentally tough and you take that action makes you move faster than others. Hesitation takes people out. When you hesitate, when you have a bigger gap between what you set out to do and you actually doing it, you grow hesitation. And when hesitation grows, guess what also grows? Distrust. Your self-trust completely drops. Okay? Can I just tell you, I will die on this hill. I will die. I will lay my life down. The number one thing you need in sales is trust. You need trust with your audience. You need trust with your potentials. You need trust in your leadership, but you need trust in yourself. How many of you guys know that to be true? Trust is everything. Now, there's a long list I can give of all the top things that I think that leaders should have. But my God, trust is the number one thing. How can you ask other people, and this is what kills me. How can you ask other people to buy into your vision when you haven't bought in? How can you ask other people to invest in the product when you're not invested in it? How can you ask your team to be consistent when you're not consistent? Now, this doesn't mean that we don't recruit until we're perfect. It doesn't mean we don't market until we have results. That's not what I said. Okay? But you have to trust yourself with shortening the gap. There's always going to be a gap. There's always going to be a little hesitation because if you don't have a little hesitation, a little doubt, a little fear, my friend, you're not running your business correctly. If you don't want to quit this mother trucking thing at least once a month, I said trucking. I'm not vulgar. I just French kiss it, the line a little bit. If you don't think about quitting once a month, you're not working your business good enough, okay? Because this junk, it's simple, but this junk is, I said earlier it was not hard, but I'm telling you, it's a little hard, okay? It's a little hard. As you want to grow and develop, growth is hard, okay? And so you need that trust, and trust is the ability to have trust produces with yourself, produces so much in your life. It produces your ability to make better decisions, right? Your ability to thrive in life. Like, how many of you want that? So you have to learn how to lessen that gap between what you say you're going to do and actually do it. Will you be the person who says one thing but does another? That's a choice. Will you be the person that overpromises and underdelivers? That's a choice. Will you be the person that gets super hyped and you're all in one day and then you go in the brand partner witness protection program? I'm Jesus touches. Y'all be hiding, okay? I'm gonna hire the mafia to come find you, okay? I'm gonna get some internet stalkers to come find you, okay? And so when you shorten that gap, it's so, so crucial because you actually start lessening your overthinking, you lessen your paralysis, you lessen your need for perfectionism, you lessen the your excuses, you lessen your comparison. The gap is where doubt multiplies. Okay. And so if you want to be a leader that makes better decisions, if you want to be a leader that executes, you have to work on lessening that gap. When you say you're going to do something, go do it. Right? Mel Robbins wrote an incredible book, The 5 Second Rule. Count backwards from five. You're like a rocket ship going off. Five, four, three, two, one, go do it. Five, four, three, two, one, go talk to that person. Five, four, three, two, one, go make that post. Five, four, three, two, one, go hit Facebook Live. Five, four, three, two, one, send that voice memo. Okay. You have to lessen the gap. All right. So the second thing is you also have to, and this thing I'm wrapping up with, so get your questions ready. You want to shorten the gap for emotional recovery time. This is something over almost 10 years of coaching high achieving women. I find that women bench themselves. They take themselves out of the game. And I don't know a lot about hockey, but I have an incredible Canadian team and they're all in on hockey. And I know the penalty box is like 2 minutes for a reason. It's 2 minutes for a reason. Okay, because they want you back on the ice. The goal isn't to sit and to self-deprecate and to beat yourself up and to tell yourself all the reasons why you can't and all the reasons why you shouldn't. What we are not doing is holding our future hostage based on the past. Oh, I made a mistake back here, so that means up here I can't win. Oh, I lost a sale back here, so that means up here I can't get a sale. Oh, I missed my goal back here. I missed my goal in January, so that means March I'm not going to make it. That's self-sabotage. We are no longer holding our future hostage based on our past. Y'all saw me got real serious over that. That crap ticks me off. Good people give up every single day. Good people, people who have what it takes, people who are willing to do the work. And it's their emotional immaturity. It's their inability to bounce back. It's their inability to shake it off. What's wrong with you? You to keep benching yourself because of a thought? Because of a thought. Because you think you're not good enough. You think you can't do what someone at the top does? Are we serious right now? We're not holding our future hostage anymore. We're not putting the shackles on it. We're going to give ourselves permission to win. We're going to bounce back. So you get to learn that you get to make a mistake. You get to learn you can have a bad moment. It doesn't mean you have a bad day. Develop your bounce back. And I can tell you one of the fastest ways to get your bounce back is move your body. Tony Robbins says it best. Change your state, you change your story, you change your life. Change your state. Okay, it's hard to be depressed. And this is why I spent a year in depression on medication seeing a counselor. I believe depression and anxiety are real and I'm never here to denounce them. However, I do believe there's got to be somewhere 60 or 70% of the people, it's self-induced. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I believe that. How are you supposed to bounce back when you're in your pajamas, laying on your couch, watching TV? How are you supposed to bounce back when you look homely, you look a hot mess all day, in your pajamas, in your bed? Oh, I'm gonna make this month count. No, you're not. No, you're not, because your body tells a different story. And I've learned the moments when I get emotionally overwhelmed. I've learned the moments where my emotions, because you see, it's not my thoughts. I don't even know if I really do have a brain. My husband asked me one time, I was driving, and he just leans over. He's so sweet, and he didn't mean anything by it. He goes, "What are you thinking of?" And I just, "What?" And he's like, "Right now, like, what were you thinking of?" We weren't talking. I don't even think we had the radio on. He said, "What are you thinking of?" And I just said, "God, I don't think I was thinking of anything." And I realized in that moment, this was like a year ago, maybe even like 7 months ago, 8 months ago, I realized in that moment, there are people on this planet that think all day. And I thought, my God, I'm kind of cute, but there's not a thought behind these eyes sometimes. I don't have a little narrator. Okay, so it's not my thoughts that take me out, y'all. It's my emotions. I'm emotional, okay? And so, like, I don't know what it means to think all day, okay? I don't know that life, So my emotions will take me out. And I've realized that when I get overwhelmed emotionally, that I have to get up. Even, and this is going to sound so stupid, but even like, I don't have an office right now. Well, this is going to be my podcast studio. But in our old house, I had an office and I would have to get up out of that atmosphere. Get up, go take a walk around the block. I'm telling you, you'll change your life by walking outside and breathing some fresh air. Okay, you really will. The ways that I've learned how to bounce back, go take a walk real quick. You just realize like your tiny problem is not as big as other people's problem, or your little, oh, my feelings got hurt. I got told no 3 times in a row. Okay, calm down, go take a walk, right? Just come back, reset. Give yourself 5 minutes to reset. Put your phone down for 10 minutes, set a timer, reset. Okay, bounce back. You also want to know what I had to go through a season do it. I think I have a podcast episode on this. I had to do 50 jumping jacks because Eric Thomas says it best, like when you want it as bad as you want your next breath. And I'm gonna tell you what, you kind of forget about how much you suck when you can't breathe. Do 50 jumping jacks and I'm all like, right? And then you realize like, hey, what I was just really upset about, like really doesn't matter, in 5 days, like in 5 minutes. When I wake up in the morning, it's really not that big of a deal. You get what I'm saying? I also learned journaling. I'm not big on journaling. I think that's really good for people who have a brain. What's that character in The Wizard of Oz? If I only had a brain, like that might be me a little bit. But I did go through a season where I tried to journal. It didn't really help me, but it might help you. And so you've got to learn how to walk, like mentally tough people walk themselves off the ledge of frustration. Okay. They walk themselves off the ledge of frustration. And so here's what I want to say. I want to wrap this up. We're coming to the end of our time. I'll stay on for an extra 15 or 20 minutes to answer any questions. If you have to go, I love you. I hope you found something. But biggest thing I can just tell you to develop your mental toughness is you've got to work towards it. You have to develop, you have to play an active role. You got to touch it every single day. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, touch a book, touch a podcast, watch a video, invest in your future, right? But you also just have to learn to like freaking calm down. Not everything is catastrophic. Not everything is the end of the world. Not everything means you're the worst person out there. Not everything deserves a crash out, as my kids would say. Okay. And I do think mentally tough people, we focus on what we can control. And here's what I want to say. I can absolutely tell you, like, you can control how you show up. It is a phenomenal book, Haley. You can control how you show up. You can control whether you win the day or lose the day. You can control your attitude. You can control your bounce back.